All right. Uh, Welcome to episode 3 of Mono's Game Club. Podcast week, the podcast where we get together with RazBora and Terrydactyl to talk about the games we've been playing, talk about life in general, talk about Hell Let Loose, and just all around have a good time. So welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome. We're happy to have you guys.
Yeah. Hello.
All right, we'll start this week's podcast by talking about what each of us have been playing. If any of us have been playing anything interesting, or just, the regular, usual Hell Let Loose stuff.
Yeah,
Ross, have you been playing anything?
Oh, Mono, my friend. So, I've been playing Hell Let Loose quite a bit, obviously. But, for TikTok, right, I want to kind of see Raz shave for the podcast. I did shave. I know. I don't have the prepubescent beard anymore. So hey guys, nice seeing y'all. Dude, Mono, I just started playing Squad. I played a little bit of Squad. I wanted to get into it, and I wanted to see with TikTok and like YouTube to what other games people liked. And I'm kind of early on my content career, so I just want to diversify. I hate Squad. I hate Squad so damn much, dude. Like, it could be that I'm just not good. And I respect that, because I'm sure there's a bunch of people listening that love Squad. I hate Squad with a passion. I am terrible at it. I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I will say, community, like, I'm sorry, gotta do better, man. Like, to put it in perspective, I was just telling the boys a little bit. So I want to potentially stream that game because I think it might be, interesting. I love the graphics. I love the frame rate, the performance. I love the plentiful weapons and all the different classes and all the different stuff with the game. Truly, they have a lot of good stuff. I walk in, I'm thinking about streaming, I just record some gameplay, and within the first 5 minutes, man, like, a million racial slurs while we're warming up. And then, like, people are just talking just so much smack, cussing at each other the whole time. And it's just, like, my first 5 minutes. I've played Squad before, but, like, if this was my first time playing any game, man, that is not something I want to walk into.
Not a good first impression.
Yeah, when I play Squad, I didn't experience any of that. I wonder if the community has changed, because I played it like a year ago, I want to say, and I didn't enjoy it very much either, because it's just too much of a like milsim for me. It's too slow. Yeah. It's I don't know. Like on one round, I had a great I had actual action where I was shooting at people and stuff like that. But most rounds were just like walking around and just like weird, milsim stuff that you get. But I wonder if anyone can tell us in chat if, that's been their experience for them, if the community actually sucks. I do remember the community not being very welcome, like not being very like, oh, you're a new guy? Let me tell you, what this is all about, and let me explain to you how this works. None of that. Which you do have a lot of in Hell Let Loose, I think.
Yeah, so Fachi says he's played some rounds on the German servers, and people were very helpful. See, maybe it's just the servers. I don't know, but I played the other day like 3 or 4 different servers. And so I played a bunch of the noob servers, noob friendly, because of course I'm like a noob. I probably played at least 60 hours. Like, I played a decent amount. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I played a good amount. But every single time, it's the same experience. Every single time. But I've had probably, I could count 5 rounds where I've had, like, a squad that talks. Doesn't talk shit, like, talks, like, about the game. And then is, like, working together and, like, actually helpful. Every other game I've played is just people being super aggressive towards each other. No one is helpful. Everyone just assumes I know what I'm doing, which I don't, and I'm willing to help the team. However, I just have had such a bad time. The only time I have that's decent is when I play the Galactic Conquest game, which is the for those of you that don't know, It's a mod, Star Wars mod specifically made for Squad. It's actually pretty cool. Really, what I would love Battlefront to be. Really, a lot of content, cool atmospheric stuff. But that community is a little more specific. So I guess I enjoy it maybe a little more because it's only people that
that
Star
sounds
Wars,
like it would be
talk
very
about that.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a small server, but aside from that, man, that's kind of what I've been playing, and I just hate it. I hate it so much, so I don't think I'll really go back to it unless I'm playing with maybe a friend. Yeah, but definitely not stream friendly either.
Yeah, I picked up Squad as soon as it came out in early access, 2015, I think, because I played a lot of Project
What's
Reality,
up, Tack?
which
How
is
are
the
you
Battlefield
guys?
2 mod, and I think
Poutine,
some
yeah,
people
not friendly
left
at all, man.
Project Reality.
Cold,
to
great seeing you.
form what is
Crucius,
now the
big. Nice seeing you guys.
Off-World Industries, I think the dev team's called, and make Squad. And I've been playing it off and on throughout the years, and I would say in the last couple of years when I have played it, definitely not noob friendly. And yeah, like you said, in games, it feels like you're walking around or there's not that much happening.
Yes.
Even when
Love
I've
that
had
game,
games
Deep
where
Rock
there's
Galactic.
like quite a lot of action, I check my kill count at the end of the game. I like killing people. I hunt down people and Hell Let Loose. Love getting a high KD ratio, but while playing the objective. And in Squad, I can have like this massive action game, and I get like 10 kills, 10, 15 kills.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a
I
good
look
game.
at everyone else. Yeah, I look at everyone else's kill count, and it's like the same or less.
Wow.
And for me, I'm like,
that's not
get me
enough.
into the action. Let me kill people. You know?
Yeah.
So I like hardcore aspect of it, but man, is it like it is hardcore, but it is so hardcore to where it took me like 30 minutes to find someone, like to get into the action. And then by the time I got into the action, I of course, with my luck, get shot immediately. And I'm like, well, I have a minute fucking spawn, and I have no habs to spawn on. So I got to go all the way to HQ and come all the way back. Like, I'm not waiting for that.
But
or
that's,
you just wait for a
the
medic
same
the whole
problem with
time.
Hell Let Loose, though. If there's no garrisons or outposts, you've got that line.
Right, no,
run.
exactly. Exactly. But you have stamina. So it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, now I got to run and stop like 10 times.
And in Hell Let Loose, there's other ways. You might have an OP, or you might have like a truck somewhere that you can drive that nobody's using, and you don't feel bad about using the truck because it's like whatever, it just spawns on its own at HQ, and I can just use this, get to the front lines, and have some fun. But in those games, like taking any vehicle feels like I'm like signing, some legal document. Like, you are now responsible for like this entire thing. And I don't know. I've been playing Postscriptum, which started life as a Squad mod, and it's now obviously its own thing. And I've been enjoying it. Like, it's so for me, as you were saying, Terry, like I like killing people and I like getting a lot of kills, and the responsiveness, being able to like shoot at people and know my aim is going to be precise, and it's only going to depend on me, the player, in terms of whether I hit or not, my aim with the mouse, and not something external to that, right? That's something that I like about Hell Let Loose. That is unfortunately not the case in Postscriptum, obviously, because Postscriptum also has the stamina system. So, if you're sprinting and you come out of a sprint and you want to aim and shoot at someone, your aim just like goes, all over the place. So unless the guy's like super close, then you're not gonna hit him. That said, I expected people in Postscriptum to be like way more talkative and more like into the tactical aspect of the game, and I'm surprised at how quiet everything is. Like, most squads even being 9 player size instead of 6, which is what you get in Hell Let Loose, still like people are super quiet. And again, I don't know if that's like the servers that I've had. I have like maybe 8 hours in the game, so not a whole lot, but that's kind of surprised me. And I've been able to kill a few people, like kill 4 or 5 people in a single life and stuff like that.
And the headshot sound too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yes.
I like that.
Which
dude,
headshot sounds better?
Oh, definitely the
Ooh.
Heladeus one. Definitely the Heladeus one.
Ah.
Yeah, 100%.
So
It's-
I think
it's
the
louder
Heladeus
to
one
begin
sounds
with.
better, but I feel like it's more satisfying in Postscriptum just because it's harder.
Maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
It's-
Also, the sounds in general in Postscriptum and
Yeah.
Squad are just on a different league compared to Heladeus, and that is
The whistle
that
from the-
everything, just
the
like the
tank.
explosions, the bullets, the crack of the bullets, the shots from the tank like going over your head, the explode. Everything sounds much better than it does in Heladeus. And Heladeus, some things sound all right, some things sound pretty good. Like the bombing run and stuff like that sounds very good. But for example, the airplane, dude, there's like a Stuka bombing run
Yeah, the
in
Stuka.
Postscriptum that sounds insane, and I'd love to see stuff like that in Heladeus, definitely.
I
'Cause
think it
that's
will come.
one big like lacking
Yeah,
thing.
Stuka's something confirmed. Oh, nice. Stuka's
yes.
definitely confirmed. But
It's because they've said they want to bring unique commander abilities to each of the
Yeah.
factions. Stuka, obviously. Come on.
yeah,
Yes,
Put that
yes,
as
yes,
like
yes.
it's a high risk, high damage on like a tank target.
Yeah.
That could be amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, I feel like the entire sound engine in those games is just
Yeah.
better than it is in Postscriptum. In Heladeus. I don't know if that's to do with like how long they've been in development or the specific engine that they're using, or because I think they're both like Unreal Engine 4 games.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they are. So yeah, definitely. People in chat are asking, would you ever play Deep Rock Galactic? I got Deep Rock on the PS5 because that's like the free PlayStation game of the month. The thought of playing a first-person shooter using a controller is very unappealing to me, so I might just
Deep
end
Rock
up buying
Galactic?
that. Yeah.
Oh, I played it with mouse and keyboard.
That's on,
Yeah,
it's on
I
Game
know.
Pass, it is.
But it's also
Yeah.
on it was free on PlayStation this month, so I got it there.
Oh,
but I don't
okay.
think I
I see
want
what
to
you're
play it
saying.
on
Oh.
PlayStation because it's like I hate
Yeah.
aiming with the controller. I absolutely hate it.
I love that game. I love that game. Amazing.
Deep Rock?
Very fun. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to try it out, dude. I want to try it out because that seems like a game that I would really like with
Yeah,
loot
it's on
and
Game Pass.
everything. Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's fun.
Speaking
Highly
of Game
recommend.
Pass, shall we talk about it?
Well, wait. We gotta talk about Terry. What game he's playing?
Oh yeah,
Skipped right over him.
So
Terry, I got you, buddy.
I'm still playing Hell Let Loose, of course. I've had some recent like amazing moments of the FG42 sniper, even though it's still broken.
I agree, Crucius.
is the aim
But-
a problem?
Yeah, so where you have the tip of the reticle, like the little triangle. If you basically aim at someone, even at 50 meters, say you're going for a headshot, it won't hit him in the head. It'll hit him lower in the body because,
What?
unlike the standard FG42, where the bullets go higher,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
sniper
yeah.
goes lower the way you're aiming.
Oh,
So you need to aim always above where you're trying to hit, even at 50, 100 meters. But it's you can easily get used to it. I
yeah.
went on a crazy little kill streak where it was just like one tapping a bunch of people in a row.
Yeah, that was nuts. I just saw that
Nice.
video today.
Yeah. And
Nice.
been playing a little bit of Enlisted towards like this week and towards the end of last week. I wanted to see how
Why?
that game would come along.
Why?
And it's
I
improved.
enjoyed Enlisted.
I think it's
I
improved
liked
a
it
little bit.
initially.
Roz is out of the
but-
podcast.
No, see you guys last episode.
But I just think it's still a bit janky.
Yeah.
I think the whole squad system, I'll call it the squad system, where you have yourself and a bunch of AI underneath you, ruins the game because like 1 out of every 4 to 6 people is probably a player. Everyone else is just brain dead AI.
Yeah.
And I don't play a multiplayer player shooter to play against AI. I play it to play against players.
Yeah.
And for me, in Enlisted, like the whole scale, it feels off, right? The scale feels off when you're playing in first person. For me, it does feel like it is meant to be a third person shooter, but they've just plonked the camera down onto someone's body. It feels weird. It's hard to describe. It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
And the shooting mechanics, it's Fortnite Bloom, pretty much. Shooting's horrible, especially with automatic weapons. Your first shot with an automatic weapon doesn't go where you're aiming; it will go off to the side.
I noticed that too.
And nah, not for me.
To me, I remember when I played Enlisted, like people running around with, as you said, like the AI soldiers are running, in a line behind the player, so you'll get these like insane kill streaks, which aren't rewarding really, because you like kill the player and then you go like, okay, boom, another guy, boom, another guy, boom, another guy, and it's kind of boring. It's like you're ticking off a list or something.
I had a moment where I was in a building and there must have been nearly 10 AI or more in the top floor of this building, either running up against a wall, running up against the banister for the stairs, or just prone, doing nothing. Well, all the players of those squads had left and jumped out the window, but the AI was just stuck.
The pathfinding was...
I enjoyed that game just for what it is. I mean, quick, you just jump in. I mean, I put maybe 5 hours into it, not that much. But I hop in, fuck some shit up, and then I was like, all right, try the tank. I did level up to get the Panther. The Panther was pretty dope, I will say. But yeah, I mean, after a little bit, I was like, okay, and that I never went back to it.
That was it.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's fun for what it is, but I would agree. I mean, it feels pretty janky from the last time I played it, which was when it came out. And then, I mean, I never got into the pay to win aspect of it. But I mean, I know from what I've heard, people come into my chat and talk to me about it. It's gotten way worse. So,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like everything.
I heard
you just buy everything.
So someone was saying that the airplanes are a big problem, like bomber planes and stuff like that. That just
that's what I was saying.
Destroy everything, and just
like you
dominate the battlefield.
Yeah, I played one round, and they were just in a plane, and you could just never touch them ever, ever. It was awful.
That sounds like a very Battlefield thing, because Battlefield, the franchise as a whole, has had issues with trying to balance the airplanes and the helicopters. So they are powerful, but also weak to, counter action by the soldiers in the ground. Because if you don't have that, and you have, here's the thing. So the people that play, soldiers and tanks and stuff, there's a lot of people playing tanks in these games like Battlefield or Hell of Deuce that also play infantry, right? But in my experience, at least, the people that play the airplanes only play the airplanes, especially the ones that are good with them.
Much.
The good pilots never do anything else. They just play, with this specific airplane or whatever, and that's all they do ever in the game. So they are really, really, really good at it. And if there's not a decent counter for the people to use, it's just impossible, dude. It's just impossible.
I shredded in planes in Battlefield. I was top, at one point, top 100 in the world for planes.
Damn.
So I ran planes all the time. The A-10, I would run the A-10 all the time. Oh
nice.
My God, my favorite. And I would kill anything. And yeah, I've gotten plenty 100 kill games. That was fun. But
dude, back in
so annoying.
Back in the 1942 days, in that game, the airplanes, you have to be very good with landing the bomb, because if you land the bomb exactly on the tank, then it will one-shot it, basically. If you land it slightly off, then it's 2 hits. And, there were a couple of people in the Argentinian server that I used to play that were super, super good with the airplane. So me and my brother started getting you know what? I'm just gonna get perfect with the machine gun, because all tanks have a machine gun on the top that you can use to fire at the airplanes. So we would just non-stop. If I'm infantry and I'm running and there's a static MG, I will use that if it has line of sight to an airplane. And we would non-stop just destroy the airplanes every single time. Like we would see them. And I remember we had a meet like with the Battlefield people from that server at a restaurant. And, you know, obviously like everyone like greeting each other with their in-game name. And we're like, oh, you know, I'm like this guy. Oh, okay. And suddenly, like, I get to greet this guy, and he's like, oh, I'm, you know, the name of one of the best and most annoying pilots in the entire server. And I'm like, you're this fucking guy? And he was like a 14-year-old guy, you know, kid. I was like 23 or something, or 22. And he was like, yeah, that's me. Who are you? I'm Mono. And he was like, you're fucking Mono? Like, you're the guy that keeps shooting at me every single time I try and fly the airplane? And it was just hilarious. After that, like, we hated each other. And after that meet, we understood each other better, basically. We became friends. But that was so hilarious, because I was like, I'm gonna kill this guy if I see him.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to be like a 14-year-old.
That's so funny. Battlefield 1943, like I was really good at that, and you had the same kind of concept. Like you couldn't drop it close; you had to drop it right on top of the tanks and stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't remember if it was like you had a bombing site or if like you had like a
on which one?
Like a third person. Battlefield 1943. This is like the mini game.
I don't think
delicious.
you did in the actual. Let's say the fighters or the small bombers.
Yeah, but yeah, I hear it. But I was so good at that game, dude, that I would never have to use the bombing reticle, and like I would bomb planes while I'm dogfighting. That's how fucking good I was. Like we would go straight on. I'd pull up at the last second and send the bombs through the cockpit. It was amazing. I loved that game. It was fun to just hop in, mess around. So fun.
We need a Battlefield game that's not garbage.
Shit.
Crap.
To have those moments, you know, weekly. Let's shit on Battlefield 2042 moment.
I know.
I remember I wasn't very good with the airplanes. I've never been. But one thing that I used to do was if a dude was dogfighting me, I was good enough for him to like. I would start slowing down and force him to, you know, to get really close to me. Then I would loop, get off the plane. As engineer, drop a mine, like a landmine in the middle of the air and hit the plane, dude.
Oh, man. Those were some great Battlefield moments back in the day.
Yeah, man. Now it's just like old. I was explaining to my mom, because my mom, you know, asked me like how things are going. And I was like explaining Battlefield 2042 to her, like just like half an hour before starting the podcast. And I was explaining to her, like, you know, on previous Battlefield games, you had like the RPG. You had several different ones, right? The one that arcs a lot but does a lot of damage, the one that's really fast and really straight but doesn't do a lot of damage, the, you know, guided one, and like different options. And this one just has the one, dude. It's so half-assed what they've done. It's incredible, man.
Luger says, "Oh, this segment again."
Yeah.
the weekly.
We don't have many. Don't have a lot of news on 2042. They've announced some updates, but the main thing to come out of it is the redesigned scoreboard, which still looks rubbish.
Sucks.
So that's
I haven't seen it.
It's still
There's
like,
this and it's
why
rubbish.
would? It's almost like I'm waiting for the you know, we've designed this new aspect to our vehicles. We call it the Wheel 2.0. Like I'm waiting for them to do something like that, because it's so absurd at this point having to. Like, here's our reinvention of the scoreboard. No, dude. We want the old scoreboard. It is quite simple to do. You've done it before. You know how to do it. It's probably in the code somewhere, you know, hidden.
Yeah.
Just enable it. Oh, it's so annoying, man. That game is so frustrating. Holy crap. All right.
But, anyway,
moving on. Yeah.
Moving on. So
let's talk about
we had
news.
a question.
Oh no, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll cut
No,
this
you're
off the
good.
podcast.
So the next segment here is actually a question. So did you get into World War II because of Hallelujah, or did something else prompt it? So Terry, let's start off with you. What got you into World War II?
So my memory's rubbish, which we'll probably end up touching on every week. So I can't fully remember what got me into World War II, but it would be probably a combination of Saving Private Ryan,
Photo.
the older World War II films like The Longest Day, Bridge Too Far, generally being British and being taught about World War II a bit in school, and that the British are the best like armed forces in the world. I mean, come on, we are.
Indoctrination.
and it would have been like the Medal of Honor games. I think those were the first major World War II games that people have probably played. Maybe not you, Raz, because you're like a young'un, really, ain't you?
I never played the Medal of Honor, the original ones. Yeah, I'll
see,
be honest.
I was right. And Band of Brothers, and for me, I can't really put my foot or my why I love World War II games and media so much. I can't really describe it. There's just something about World War II for me that just makes it so much more appealing. Even though I want the sequel for Hell Let Loose to go forward a bit, there's something about World War II, man.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. And for Hell Let Loose, it was just a good looking new World War II game. Really?
Yeah. For me, it was pretty much the same thing because I think, Terry, I'm 37, you're 36 or 35?
5, yeah.
Yeah, so we are around the same age. We were around the same age when all those things came out. For me as well, like there was like a barrage of World War II when I was finishing high school. Everything was World War II. You had, Saving Private Ryan, Medal of Honor, Allied Assault. You had Battlefield 1942, the first Call of Duty games, Call of Duty 1 and Call of Duty 2, Day of Defeat, which is a Half-Life mod, just insanely good game. And also like History Channel,
Can't
dude.
Forget those.
Oh yeah, History Channel was... History Channel back then was the World War II documentary channel, basically. Everything was about World War II in the History Channel, which, was much better than it is now that it's like a reality TV thing. But I remember watching like countless documentaries on the war, and also like, studying it by myself. Like I would buy books and I would like sit down and like study it. There was one that I really liked that I bought that I don't remember the name of. I have it hidden somewhere. That was really cool because it had like maps of famous engagements like El Alamein or Tobruk and stuff like that, where you would have like the arrows and the positioning of the troops and what movements they did, and then like a full like page description of the entire like battle and how it progressed and everything, and like the tactics used and everything. I was really into that. To me, like Terry, you said like there's something about World War II. To me, it's that perfect for like a video game concept thing, or just as a war. It's the combination of the analog nature of everything that was going on, in terms of the weapons. Like you have single fire bolt action rifles, but then you also have like insane things like guided rockets and stuff like that. Like the ingenuity and the vehicles and the things you had. I've said in the previous podcast, I think that Star Wars to me is, Star Wars is the concept of the X-Wings and the TIE fighters. It's very much modeled after World War II, and the entire you have to just look at the uniform of the Empire, right, to see that it's modeled after the German helmet. Like World War II to me is just, it's very interesting in terms of the scale the logistics and the ingenuity of accomplishing so much in that time frame where, you know, they really didn't have a lot of the modern like tools that we have today, right? Like
yeah, definitely.
One more thing, like when I think about D-Day, like the logistics involved in D-Day, it's like they had to start building the landing craft. I believe like 2 years before D-Day, or like a year and a half before. That is just insane, and it's something that people don't take into account, right? Like the effort and just like being able to do that and build the oil pipes in a day or a week or whatever it was. That to me is just like it's engineering at its most extreme, and being an engineer, I really like that.
Kind of a funny side story real quick, just because you reminded me like of D-Day and like how quite honestly like horrific it was, right? And I just remember this one time I was playing Hella Loose. Sorry, just offshoot. It was just hilarious. I was playing Hella Loose, and we were getting just destroyed on the beach, as the Americans do. And our squad leader was like a really young kid. He's like, "This is bullshit. They're just spawn camping us. This isn't even how it was." And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? And like everyone in the squad is like, wait, what? And of course we're just getting shredded, like machine gunner. It's like, oh yeah, they just keep having machine guns. No. There was like no Germans. Like the Americans were able to, and I was like, what? This kid's fucking serious. Really? Like he has no idea. Like he had to be like fucking like 14. But I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. I was like, what is this guy thinking? Dude. But just ridiculous. I was just like, what?
Omaha Beach, to me, like, I think back in the day, you know, the joke is now like, can it run Crisis, right? But before that, I think the joke, like the thing was like, who's doing the Omaha Beach landing better, right? Is it Call of Duty? Is it Medal of Honor? Is it Battlefield? Is it what? Because that seemed to be like the level that every single game had. Because like the influence from Saving Private Ryan was like massive, right? So every game was like, you know, had their own Omaha Beach scene and did it their own way, and like that was the best, dude.
So that was a
great time for first-person shooters.
Yeah, that Omaha Beach scene, because it was so realistic for the veterans that watched Saving Private Ryan. They had to set up a phone line specifically for those veterans that watched the film because of how it affected
PTSD.
Them. That's how
like real PTSD. Yeah,
yeah. That's how. Well, I'll say realistic, or at least, realistic, or how much of a good portrayal it was of how it was.
I'm pretty sure like there I want to say like there was some involvement with like Spielberg and the first Medal of Honor game.
Yeah,
I believe you're right. Yeah.
I'm
the
pretty
company
sure
that first made it was DreamWorks. I think DreamWorks had a development side, and that was DreamWorks' Spielberg, or because it's called DreamWorks STG, which are the initials of the three people that set it up, which is Spielberg and then others.
Yeah,
nice.
Pepe says here in chat, love World War II, always great. 10 of my family members fought in that war, 9 in the Atlantic and Europe, and 1 in the Pacific. Can't imagine what they went through. When I play Hella Loose, it scares me once in a while. Jeez, Pepe, that's insane, man. I could not imagine. Object Null says, the nature of World War II is great for video games because they were using guns, but the battles were massive. Crucia says, Vietnam is the same, but way harder to balance teams. I would agree. I think the thing is, World War II is so romanticized because it's almost the last time there were major full countries fighting. Obviously World War, right? But I think it's that, and then there's not that much technology. It's somewhat modern to where they're using automatic weapons, but it's still in the sense that like there's no lock on or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
you have a bazooka.
Manual.
You have a bazooka, but it's manual. It's not like you know you didn't have the bazooka back in like World War and you have like jeeps and airplanes that are really cool and go really fast and all of that, but it's all like manual. Like the rockets are all
It's just
manual.
gritty. Like it's just they're in the fucking trenches. I mean,
I think that translates in terms of a game. It just means the skill ceiling is like super high because you need to learn to aim with those rockets. You need to learn to I remember the bazooka in 1942, dude. Okay, story time. Once, just quick story time. Once,
story time.
We were playing Midway. Like this is like Saturday, 10 a.m. or something. Woke up, fired the game, hop into a server, Midway, whatever. I get into a landing craft, and we're like making our way across the map. If you don't know Midway in 1942, it's this big ass ocean map with the Midway Island, which is really small at the middle, right? And there's like a naval fleet on each side of the map. And just because I'm bored in the landing craft, reaching the island, like I fire a rocket right at the start of the game. Like a minute afterwards, I get a kill to an airplane.
Oh,
that
Jesus.
is like it was like one of those one in a million. Like, but it wasn't just I wasn't aiming at anything. I just fired a rocket into the air, and it just arced its way back and hit some airplane that was overflying the Midway Island. That's insane. But that's kind of what it is,
awesome.
Being able to do those insane shots because if you know enough, like the dude that's new in the game can hit people with the bazooka from like 50 meters. The dude that's actually good in the game can hit them from any distance, right? Because you know the arc by memory and you just have it integrated into you, right?
Yeah. For me, what got me into World War II was probably Call of Duty World 2, just the original Call of Duty 2. That's like the first person shooter I played.
Remember the grenade spam in that one?
That's
I never played it online.
You played?
I would say aside from Halo, probably I played Halo before, but like soldier first person shooter probably. Yeah, I mean for me, like I'm 28 now, so that was still quite a while ago. Aside from Doom, no, I guess I played Doom, like original.
Did you play
Doom
the first one?
with my dad.
Like the first
Doom?
with
my dad, like a long time ago. Yeah. So that kind of got me into World War II, and then one day, I don't know when, but I watched Saving Private Ryan, my favorite fucking movie of all time, Saving Private Ryan. Then Band of Brothers, and then I just started doing my own research. And then in school, I just really loved like reading all the chapters and really looking into everything like in World War II. Like I was just a huge history buff in World War II. Just looked up everything. I just thought it was so interesting. It just got me really into it. And then I think World at War, Call of Duty, kind of got me like back into it. Again, because at that time when that were released, I don't think there was any real World War II games that were out or popular at that time. I think there's like maybe one of the Medal of Honors that was like the one that you had to control your squad, maybe on PS3. Was
I don't
one
remember
of them.
That.
Yeah, and
Brothers in Arms?
Yeah, Brothers in Arms. That's it. Yeah, sorry, Brothers in Arms. That was a pretty good game. That was cool. That kind of got me back into it. World at War really got me back into it. And then I've always been kind of just obsessed with any World War II game just because it's so gritty. Like it just always kind of got my attention. And then
I think when World at War came out, I think everything was moving to modern shooters because of Modern Warfare.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely like a dry season in World War II games from the late 2010 to like maybe 2018 or something.
Something in the back
Dude,
there,
you mentioned Doom. Sure. My brother was here the other day, and he told me like, "Do you remember the first time we saw Doom?" And I was like, "Dude, I remember that like the day my kid was born." Because I remember walking into a store and they had a demo of Doom like running, like looping, whatever. And we were just like completely blown away, right? Because games at that time didn't look that good. Like Doom was such a revolution in terms of graphics and in terms of like the movement and the 3D nature of it all. Like, what a fucking game, man! That's just like timeless.
Same as Wolfenstein. I thought the same as Wolfenstein when that came out.
Yeah, but Wolfenstein was like this corridor thing, right? There was no height difference in Wolfenstein, and the very first level of Doom, you have the staircase that goes up, and that just completely blew our minds. Like, and the graphics in the gun, you know, like it's just wow, man. Yeah, I remember like being blown away, man. Yeah.
Oh my god, the graphics! Yeah, but man, I just been obsessed with Hella Loose. I mean, ever since I played it, like, just amazing. It's kind of like what I loved about Battlefield 2 in my favorite time frame of World War II.
Yeah,
so I love Battlefield 2.
Oh, you need to play, dude. We need to play. We're talking about this about maybe streaming some World War II games together, and Forgotten Hope 2 is based. It's a World War II game based on the BF2 engine. Like that, it's a BF2 mod, and that is just absolutely incredible. The guy, actually, the one of the guys that worked on it, I think the guy, talked to me after I did the interview with Max, where he mentions like Forgotten Hope being one of the inspirations for Hell Deuce. And this guy heard the interview and he contacted me and he was like, dude, that actually, hello, a guest we could have on the show. There we go. Because cool. He told me like, if you want an interview or whatever, that would be a lot of fun. But we need to play the game first.
I'm down. Crucia said I'm a couple years older than Mono. My friends and I hooked up our computers with null modems and played Doom 2 Deathmatch in like 1995. Oh my god. There was one time back in school. This is like middle school. You guys are probably like in high school, I would imagine. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say graduating. I graduated in high school in like 2001.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! All right, maybe not then. I was in first grade.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, middle school.
Like I said.
Yeah, I know.
I was studying to become an engineer because that would turn out to be really useful in my life.
We had Halo Combat Evolved, and we freaking had all the computers in the keyboarding class hooked up, obviously to the same network, bro.
Was that on PC or?
This is on PC and keyboarding class in middle school. Okay. And like our middle school teacher was just super weird. He just never paid. Yeah, keyboarding class. Literally, it's just a class where you take and you just learn how to keyboard and type.
Okay.
It was pretty useful. But anyway, so the teacher, useless. He didn't do anything. Funny story, he got arrested like a couple years later. Ooh. Completely unrelated. But so basically we found out how to hook up all the computers together and we had everyone install Halo Combat Evolved. And in class, we all fucking played Halo Combat Evolved, the first Halo, and just Blood Gulch. Oh, God, that brought back some memories, man. I loved Halo back in the day.
I'm going to have a controversial opinion about Halo, which you're not going to enjoy.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Okay, but first...
Mono is controversial.
Back in computer class, one thing that we used to do to annoy the teacher, because she wasn't very good, and, most of the students, like, the geeky students like me knew more about computers than she did. And, I started making my own computers when I was, like, 11 or 12. So, I was pretty knowledgeable by the time I was like 14. And one thing that we did was we would sync up all our watches. Like at that time, everyone had like a Casio watch, and we would sync up like every single guy in the class, like 30 guys, 30 humans, because there were boys and girls.
Robots.
We would sync up like 9:30 or whatever, like 10:30. Our alarm clocks. So like suddenly during the class it would like like everybody.
Oh,
Oh man, we drove her nuts, dude. And we were also like hold the key when the computer starts, so you get like the error that does like brrrr, like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah,
DOS. Yeah, man.
We
Um,
there was one time with the same teacher that I was just talking about. We had a universal remote. That's like back at this time, like universal remotes were kind of like the thing. Like,
Yeah.
there's no real cell phone kind of things. So we had a universal remote and we hooked it up to the classroom TV and we would always turn it on. Like we would just turn it on and turn it to like ridiculous channels and the volume all the way up. And no one was close to the TV. So like he wouldn't be able to tell. And he's always
Yeah.
like doing something on his computer, and he's like, "Who turned on the TV?" And we're like, "Oh, someone like walked up to the door, came in, and turned on the TV." And he'd run outside and like look at the random people walking around, and like he couldn't find them. And one day, this poor fucking guy, he's some random fucking kids walking by. We turn on the TV. He does the same thing. Like, who was that? And we're like, oh, it was the guy with like the yellow shirt. And so he runs outside, grabs this random fucking kid, and marches him to the dean's office. Straight up. And we all felt so bad. And we were dying. And then ever since then, we would always turn it on. And we're like, it was the yellow shirt guy. And he'd go fucking around the school looking for this kid. This is a random poor guy.
Dude.
Oh my God. We do that shit all the time.
I feel bad because I was not a good guy.
Oh.
You know, when I was a kid, like so I misbehaved, but I did so intelligently, so I would never get caught. You know, I was always the guy
opposite.
who got away with it. And there was this, and we would like bully the teachers that we
Oh, no.
Okay, so the teachers that were good, we didn't bully. We you know, I created like the creative writing class thing with my English teacher, and we would actually had this weird relationship which would like raise a lot of red flags today. Dude, yes.
Where did they touch you, Maya?
Dude, several. I was gonna say several stories, and then you said that, and it's like, no, not stories about that. But so I had this.
That's for another day.
So we had this weird, like, the creative writing club people, the students, right? We had this really tight relationship with the English teachers. Two of them, because I'm from Argentina. They, most teachers were from like either Britain or the US, and we would actually hang out on like a Friday night at one of the teachers' houses, drinking gin, and we were like 15. So that would definitely not fly today, but there was like no ill intent involved at all. Like we were just, it was
hilarious.
just, yeah. And, I missed my train of thought. I was going to say, we bullied yeah. There was this English teacher that was a replacement teacher, and she was like the worst. And, some dudes in my class had the incredibly just hilarious idea that every single time she mentioned the word deadline, they would just run up and lay flat on the ground on the classroom, like in a line, one next to the other, like forming a line, and not say anything, right? So this teacher would go like, what are you doing? And they wouldn't answer. So she would like get up and like move them, try and move them. And like, come on, what is it you're doing? And somebody like would explain, no, miss, like, don't even try. It's the deadline. So
Did you ever
they
have
would just
any,
stay like 30 minutes, like laying down on the classroom floor,
What the
not
fuck?
doing anything, not participating in the class, not doing shit except for being the deadline. That was, yeah.
Did you ever have any funny school stories, Terry?
From what I can remember, there's people that that locked the art teacher in the cupboard, put like a hockey stick or field hockey stick
What?
through the handles to the cupboard so she couldn't get out.
Yeah. Jesus, that is fucked
But
up.
how did you get the teacher inside the cupboard?
I think she went in just to get some supplies. So someone ran up and
They're
just
like
went,
locked her out.
There's,
That's like some classic.
one bit I remember, even though I was doing history in secondary school, so secondary school, then further education, we was doing like business studies for a few months. Just I know they just were like, you're doing this for a little bit, and the teacher we had, he was cool, but we pissed him off at one point so much, like bright red in the face, getting really angry, and he was blaming one kid, my mate, but it wasn't his fault at all. It was loads of other people that were just pissing him off. So he stormed out the class, and then a bunch of people moved like one of these big, heavy, sort of iron filing cabinets in front of the door, so he couldn't get in the door. So he literally had to like probably shoulder barge this filing cabinet down, and of course it just goes boom, and I think it breaks a table that it hits on the way down, and he just fucking lost it. It was so funny. And my teacher for history, best teacher ever had, we would talk about N64 games pretty much all the time.
Oh, nice.
I don't really remember doing any work, just like chatting with the teacher about gaming. But like everyone in the class at least got a B. Yeah, B plus. He was awesome, and I didn't realize at the time, but he was pretty much like high on weed all the time. And we did have, we had a Perfect Dark tournament in class once as well.
Nice.
A
Dude.
what?
Perfect Dark. You know the N64 game GoldenEye?
Yes.
Yeah, Rare
of
made
course.
it after GoldenEye. They made Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark was like the upgrade to GoldenEye. Perfect Dark was better than GoldenEye,
Oh shit.
but GoldenEye's remembered more fondly. And yeah, we were playing that in class.
Photos
And I
says
joined
you
in.
guys are the reason teachers retire early.
Oh yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember actually learning anything in that class. Best teacher ever.
Everyone loved him. Everyone had really good grades. I went to take, that because of him, and I can't say what I learned because I don't remember learning that much, but because of him, I then kept looking into more historical stuff. And one of my failed ventures through college, an A level I chose, or a subject I chose, was medieval history in Europe because of the interest in history that teacher had put in me.
Oh, nice.
But he was such a good teacher. I think he's a head teacher now in a different part of the country.
Okay.
Okay.
Laptop gun and rail
I
gun.
I do want to give you guys my controversial Halo opinion.
Oh yeah.
for it.
And so I think the only reason why Halo was ever became popular is because it released on the Xbox, and a lot of people that had never played a PC shooter got to play Halo and were like, oh, this is actually fun. Because shooters at the time on console pretty much didn't exist or were just absolutely terrible, right? But Quake 3 came out 2 years before Halo Combat Evolved. And Quake 3 slaps Halo in the ass so fucking hard. It is so much better. Like, in every single conceivable measure, just Quake 3 Arena is just incredible compared to Halo. The railgun, like, come on, man. And to me, like, when Halo came out and everyone's like, oh, Halo's so good, I was like, what the fuck are you smoking, dude? Just like, we've had games like these on PC for quite some time, and they are still better than this new game that you're talking about. Like, I've never understood that. And I did try out Halo. So I've never played Halo because I've never had an Xbox and PC shooters. And when I did finally try it, granted, it's obviously like 20 years later or something, so it's obviously not going to be the same. I understand like what the hype was about, having tried it. Like, as a first console shooter game, that was like super good. But still, man, it's hard for me to think anyone that had any experience with multiplayer PC shooters would find Halo to be actually good at all at that time.
Bodo says, "Say it with feeling, Mono."
Yeah.
Mono, your opinion, it's not controversial. It's not controversial at all. The thing is, Quake 3 was a damn good game. It was amazing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But why Halo is so fondly remembered and so high held up is because in terms of console shooters, it was like a revolution for console shooters. For console shooters.
Exactly. Right.
That's it.
But I think that's entirely the thing. Because if again, if you had any experience with PC shooters, you would not have been impressed by Halo at all.
It was good, but you had all these PC shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, really.
And Slim says Unreal Tournament 4 for life, 100%.
Yeah.
What was the weapon in Unreal Tournament? The Redeemer. Was it the Redeemer?
Nuke that you piloted.
Yes. Yeah. The Redeemer. Holy crap! Oh, we had so much fun using the Redeemer. It's such a fantastic weapon game. Weapon name. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Says.
It was a guided nuke that you would like mouse control or something. Yeah, that was so good. And the sniper in Unreal Tournament in the what is it? The Two Towers thing map. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But it's the most iconic map in the entire game. That map was just incredible. The flag gun was a super cool. Yeah, the flag gun.
It's like a shotgun,
super
sort of.
shotgun thing. Yeah, it had this shotgun thing, and it also you could like. Was that the weapon that you could like alt fire to send the discs bounce? Guys, do you remember the Tron game, the Tron 2.0 game? Has anyone played that? No, that was a damn good game, dude. All right, we are nearing the hour of podcast. We haven't talked about the news yet, which I think is going to take us some time.
So I think last week we talked about what was the what is now the previous biggest game acquisition, which was Zynga being purchased. But now, as everyone knows, Xbox is purchasing Activision Blizzard. Now, a lot of websites are actually reporting this wrong. They're saying Xbox have bought them. They haven't bought them yet. The deal hasn't been done yet. They've announced the deal. The deal should be finalized in 2023, so regulators could flat out refuse it and be like, no, for like competition laws or anti-competition laws. The deal just generally could fall through. You know, they're offering what X price per share. You know, in theory, what if the shares climb up in value, and then it falls through because the shareholders aren't getting enough money? Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why the deal could fall through, but if it goes through, what I'll say Xbox are getting, they'll be getting the Treyarch Studio, Raven Software, High Moon, Beanox, Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, Demonware, Toys for Bob, Blizzard, of course, and the major franchises they're getting: Call of Duty, Candy Crush, in terms of mobile space.
Candy Crush makes
in the mobile space
cash,
makes a bazillion.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot, which is pretty much a PlayStation 1 mascot.
Yeah.
Diablo. I'll call it the Hero series, like DJ Hero, Guitar Hero, Hearthstone, Overwatch, Spyro, again, sort of like a PlayStation 1 mascot. StarCraft, SWAT, the Tony Hawk franchise, and Warcraft.
Whoa. Tony Hawk franchise.
Yeah, Tony Hawk.
Yeah. That's all going to be going to Xbox. But they have said, I don't have the exact quote here, but they pretty much sort of plan on keeping, but I think they've already mentioned Call of Duty, or maybe they've just generally said Activision titles in general, of trying to keep them with PlayStation. But that still could change down the line.
Yeah, let's look at the
There will be some sort of exclusivity deal with certain games. Like Call of Duty, you probably get earlier content, exclusive content. It's going to get that stuff because they want people to, get an Xbox or get PC Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. And to be honest, I think everyone should pretty much look into getting Game Pass because, in my opinion, it's a damn good deal. I've had it
Yeah.
for ages now.
Scoob, I
Yeah,
agree with you. I was top 500 in Overwatch at one point. I fucking love Overwatch.
I
But
never got
Mono,
that good in
what's
Overwatch, but I really liked it. The exact quote from the tweet is, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship. The key words to me in that statement are intent and existing agreements, not future agreements or like no, like the wording is extremely precise and well thought out. I think we're definitely not going to see Call of Duty in PlayStation, past like 2025 or something. I don't know how you feel, guys, about this. I really, really dislike this news. Like, I'm not a okay. So, disclaimer: I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I'm not an like I never had an Xbox. Never cared for any Xbox game whatsoever. Don't see a reason to get one now that obviously their games are on PC. So there's absolutely no reason why you should get an Xbox if you have a gaming PC. But I don't like the fact that Microsoft is just, using its money to buy itself into a monopoly as I see it. Like,
Yeah.
I find it really, really, really bad. And I understand, like, as gamers, the value of Game Pass is better than ever, and it's going to keep getting better. So as a value proposition, the average customer is going to be well served. But also, like, it's just, I don't know, like, buying all these things, just, buying such iconic franchises, and also buying a company that like a month ago when all the allegations started coming out, all that like not negativity, how do you, like, all that controversy around Activision Blizzard was starting to come out. Microsoft said, like, oh, we're going to reevaluate our relationship with Activision Blizzard in light of these allegations and whatever. It's like, you didn't evaluate shit. You just welcomed them into your house. Like, what the hell are you talking about? How much of a hypocrite are you? And obviously, like, companies are companies. Money is money, and that is king. But still, like, I much prefer the PlayStation approach of slowly cultivating, IPs, slowly cultivating studios, giving them the freedom to do whatever they want. Not whatever they want, obviously, but, giving them that freedom. Like, Sony has been really good at propelling their studios forward.
Yeah.
And I want to say most of the studios that Microsoft has acquired have yet to show, their worth, if you will.
Probably apart
So-
from the Forza devs. I think Forza's consistently been good, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Forza has been consistently good. But apart from that, like, well, most of the studio acquisitions they've made recently have been, too recent for the games to be out. But for example, I want to say, what was this? I mean, Bungie, when they got Bungie, like, Bungie jumped ship on them, basically. So yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't like it. I don't want to see the video game industry turned into like this, like two giant corporations owning half of everything. Like, I don't want that to happen. No, please.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what I will say, if you haven't watched it, there's a actually really interesting kind of like documentary that Xbox came out with it themselves, but they talk about their highs and lows over the past like 20 years. And it's really interesting because they went through something like that similar with what's the company that does Minecraft?
Mojang.
Mojang.
Yeah, Mojang. So they purchased Mojang, and that was the same thing. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna make Minecraft like the biggest game, right, into only Xbox exclusive, and it's gonna be awful. And they're gonna go ahead and like limit it." And so, I mean, still to this day, you can play Minecraft on every system. And so, I mean, I will say, like, I can definitely understand some of the worry, but I feel that, I mean, for us, it doesn't really matter because we're on PC.
Yeah.
But if I was a PlayStation fanboy that I used to be, right? Like, I mean, I'd be a little bit worried, but for some of the major titles, like if you're really into Call of Duty, I wouldn't be worried about Call of Duty just because there's like, I mean, I know they want to probably get people more into buying Xbox. I get it, but I mean, Call of Duty specifically, they make a lot of their profit just from in-game profit. So if you're not playing the game, I mean, it's free to play, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter if you get it on Xbox or not. They're making the money from just you playing it. So if they're making it more accessible and having a lot of in-game purchases, that's where they're making the money. So for Call of Duty specifically, I would really doubt they would go ahead and only make it an exclusive. Some other games, yes. Like some of the more specific ones, I can see that, absolutely. But the major titles, like if you're a huge Call of Duty fanboy, I respect it. I hate Call of Duty, but that's how I see it. I mean, same with Minecraft. That's how they make a lot of money.
One thing the chat is saying, 2 points. One, that Tencent is very much have been doing the same thing for the past years now, like maybe like a decade or something. And nobody's talking about them. And I agree, like Tencent is another one of those companies that's slowly been acquiring a massive portfolio of different studios. Though a lot of this Tencent quote-unquote acquisitions have been non-majority stock, right? Like they've like purchased like 10% of this and 20% of that, but not outright ownership. And the second thing that I want to address is like Object Null here saying PlayStation beat Xbox in the previous generations by having exclusives. Kind of hypocritical of PlayStation fanboys to say that Microsoft shouldn't compete with the same tactics. I don't think it's the same tactics for a couple of reasons. And I want to make this clear. So, because yes, I mean, I said I'm a PlayStation fanboy, but I say that in the sense that, I'm wearing a Wipeout 2097 t-shirt because that's one of my favorite games of all time. And that's a PlayStation 1 game. I had the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, 3, 4, Vita, whatever. Like that's been my console. I've always been like a PC gamer and a PlayStation gamer. And I don't think it's the same tactics because the exclusives that PlayStation has are from studios that have been working with them for, decades at this point. And they have slowly been growing those studios in a much more organic way, right? It's quite different to just go and buy the neighbor because the neighbor has the good grass, right? It's much harder to be able to create your own studios. And I think what Sony has done with, with their studios, like you look at like Guerrilla Games with Horizon, with Santa Monica with the God of War, Insomnia Games, which is just like knocking it out of the park. All of these studios, Sony had to, it was a lot of work to get them to where they are now, and a lot of confidence from Sony towards those studios in like, you want to reinvent the God of War franchise? Go ahead. You want to do a completely new IP of this like red-haired woman across the wildlife in this like post-apocalyptic dinosaur machine-ridden world? Go ahead. Like greenlighting these projects that are not necessarily the most secure and risk-averse thing in a market that is very much risk-averse, right? It's like Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 19, 21, 23, whatever.
Halo and Gears of War as well.
And
the spin-offs.
Yeah, and so for me, it's not the same thing. And I, as a PlayStation fanboy, or if you will, like I don't necessarily call myself that, but if seeing the PS titles jump into PC is fucking awesome. Like, I love the fact that people are enjoying God of War as much as I enjoyed it in the PlayStation 4, even more now because it's on PC, so it runs much better. Like, that's cool. And I think that model that Sony has been adopting of, here's my exclusive, I'm not going to say it's going to come to PC, but it is going to come to PC in like 3 years or something. So people do get to enjoy those games, later. Like, you can enjoy them earlier if you are a PlayStation user, but if not, and you're just a PC gamer, you'll have access to those incredible, because they are, that's also the thing, right? Because like Gears of War's 5 is not a 10 out of 10 game, but God of War sure the fuck is, right? And the more people that get to play that game, the better it is for everyone, because that is, for people that love games as much as we do. Yeah, but for people that play games as much as we do, like being like, for example, my brother, right? My brother doesn't have a PlayStation, and I told him, like, dude, God of War is coming to PC. Good games. This is a good game that you should play. Like, you should 100% not skip on this game. And it's awesome that they are coming to PC. So, I don't know. Like, I just don't like the fact of so many things in the same bag. That's all I don't like about this.
So with Tencent, what console does Tencent make? What platform does Tencent have? They don't.
It doesn't.
Microsoft have a platform. That's the difference between the two. What Tencent is, buying shares in companies or maybe buying outright companies. They're not putting exclusive, or they don't have anything to say. It's only coming for our platform or our service. That's it. They don't have that, right? Microsoft do. And I want to point something out for when it comes to these acquisitions. When who was it said it? Was it Object Null? About the PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah.
I'll just throw some stats at you right now. So with the studios that PlayStation bought, fully acquired in the last, let's say, 3 years, they've purchased Bluepoint, which recently did a Demon's Souls remake, Fire Sprite, PSVR games, Housemarque, which did Returnal, Insomniac, which did Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, Nixxes Software, who are port-in studio.
I think that's a VR thing as well.
And Valkyrie Entertainment. So that's 6 studios. Let me check that. Yeah, but Microsoft, on the other hand, the studios they've acquired in the last, let's say, from 2018 onwards: Compulsion Games, Double Fine Productions, In Exile, Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground Games, Undead Labs, Alpha. So now these studios come with the ZeniMax thing. Alpha Dog Games, Arcane Studios, Bethesda Game Studios, ID Software, Machine Games, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and ZeniMax Online. What Sony have been doing is different. They haven't just been hoovering people up. They've got a few people, but most of their studios have been founded quite a bit before this generation, maybe even the previous generation. Well, Microsoft, we'll say, doing the Epic Games thing of hoovering up the exclusivity, but they're hoovering up the studio. So it's different to what they're doing, really.
And one thing that I do want to mention about Game Pass, because everyone says like, oh, Game Pass is just unbeatable value, and I agree, but I don't like Game Pass because of one reason, and that is, like, at the end of the day, I go back to a lot of old games, not to play them fully again, but definitely to enjoy them again and maybe have a few hours of them. And the thing about Game Pass is that you don't really get to do that because the catalog is a rotating catalog, right? So it's happened to me that I believe, was it like, I think, I want to say it was Metal Gear Solid 5. That I was like, oh, that's on Game Pass. I'll play, I want to install that again. And it's not on Game Pass anymore. And like, if you played that game on PC specifically, I guess, and you want to revisit that game on PC, and suddenly you don't own it anymore. That's the shittiest thing, right? Like, to me, that's like horrible, because even if you buy the game, you're not gonna have like your save file or anything, and it's not gonna be the same thing, right? And like, while I understand the value is like very, very hard to go against. I do also enjoy buying games and, saying like, these are the games that I want to play. This is where my budget is going to go. And it's definitely the more expensive solution to that. But it also means, like, if I want to play Final Fantasy Tactics again, I can, because I have it. And it's mine, And if I want to play like Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS3, which, by the way, is like the only way you can play that game, which is nuts, I can, because it's on my account, and it's not part of this like PS Now thing, and suddenly that game is not there anymore, and I have just like lost it forever, basically, unless I buy it and start it anew.
I will say, like, for me, the Game Pass is fun because it's like I have it with a couple of my friends. So it's just a huge collection of new and old games that we can kind of just hop into, that we can all get without us having to invest in like a single game. Additionally, I think why I find it worth the value is that more recently, like this past, the fourth quarter of last year, it was all new games. So I don't really want to go back to old games. If I do, I'll go ahead and buy it separately, So, like, I just go in and I'm like, I want to go ahead and play, what was, God, there was this one game that was actually pretty interesting. Lemon's Gate? Have you guys heard of that game?
Lemnis Gate.
Lemons? Yeah, Lemons.
Oh, yeah. It's like the
really cool game.
First-person shooter.
Turn-based first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's super weird. But, like, it was released, day one. That's not a game that I would go ahead and like go buy, but it helps. It lets me go ahead and Lemon Gate. I know it lets me go ahead and see different games that I wouldn't play on day one, where there's a higher player count. Whereas some older games, if I'm trying to play online, I'm not going to be able to find it in a server or something like that. So it introduces me to different games that I would have never played. And then, of course, brings attention to those where it's easily accessible. Yeah, and then potentially that could become some sort of series where, they may get enough popularity. I think it happened with a couple of games somewhat recently. But, like, they were able to go ahead and create, more games off of something that came off from Game Pass. But, I mean, I really think it depends on like the type of gamer you are, whether you want to play with a lot of friends, whether you just want to play new games. Because for new games, I mean, they knocked it out of the park in fourth quarter. You can play every major title that came out on Xbox on PC as well, day one. Like, PlayStation, doesn't have anything close to that.
I wish they had the. I wish like Xbox PC Game Pass wasn't a thing, and it was just Game Pass. And it was just the same for both Xbox and PC, because sometimes the messaging gets kind of weird in terms of which games are available and which aren't. I don't remember which game specifically it was, but I was like, oh, I'm going to play this on PC because I got it through Game Pass, and it's not on PC Game Pass, but it is on the Xbox Game Pass. So it's like, at this point, like, what's the difference?
Terry, you mentioned too, Ubisoft is coming out for for Game Pass as well, so I'll be able to play all my Assassin's Creeds over again.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of making a video about my experience of Ubisoft Connect.
You have a story with Ubisoft.
Is it bad?
Yeah,
I saw your tweet.
Bad.
I've never played it.
So basically, I was planning to play Rainbow Six Extraction because I want to shit on the game so much. I think it's going to be rubbish. To me, it looks like the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, whatever it's called, version of Rainbow Six, where Indiana Jones was sort of reality-based.
This is the weirdest
but it had a bit of
explanation.
mysticism, right? No, but Indiana Jones was like sort of like real or slight mystical stuff, right? And that's what Rainbow Six was. It was like real-life tactical stuff. And then Indiana Jones 4 was like, sod it, aliens. And now Rainbow Six... Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which is, you literally Google, go into Tom Clancy's wiki page, and it's he's known for like espionage and military science stuff, but science isn't this sort of science. and Ubisoft had just gone like, yeah, fuck it, aliens.
Yeah.
For like tactical ops and
but the
espionage
extraction mode in Rainbow Six, when they did that event, like the quarantine event, it was called
Outbreak or something.
Forbidden, the Scarlet Letter, dude, forbidden word today. When
I can't play Ubisoft Connect though with Game Pass
because your account got locked.
So
because of all your hacks.
Yeah, I know.
Xbox account is apparently already linked to an existing Ubisoft account. Now,
That's
my
the same
Ubisoft
thing
account
I did
is 16 years old, right? It's 16 years old, using the email address I've had for longer than 16 years. So this Xbox account is linked
Terry
to
Giant Cock 12 at.
I was waiting for something.
But it's linked to this other Ubisoft account. Now, Ubisoft won't ask me any security validation questions, so I have no idea what this account is.
Yeah.
And this account has been blocked for some reason. I have no idea what. And Ubisoft
probably because
said,
you haven't used it or something.
Well, I don't know, but they've basically said you need to wait for this automatic unlinking of the Xbox account from this Ubisoft account, which they can't give me an ETA on, but they can't also tell me when this account was blocked. It could have been blocked years ago. So Ubisoft has said, the customer support said, put something on the forums. So I put something on the forums, and the customer support people on the forums said, oh, speak to customer support. So, yeah.
They did the same shit to me with my EA Play account. And it, like, I couldn't link it. So I had to make a new EA Play account to be able to link it to Xbox Game Pass. So I'm RazBora 2 on Xbox Game Pass. But yeah, the linkage is super weird and janky. But, I mean, luckily I don't play too much on EA Play, except, like, more single-player games. I'm not going to go play Battlefield, unfortunately. But, yeah. Too funny, though. Some great questions.
Do you think, like, I feel like Ubisoft is going to get acquired by someone at this point, because Ubisoft seems to be on the down low in terms of its games, very much like Activision was.
I can see that.
Overwatch 2 not figuring out anywhere on the horizon. Diablo not being what it was. Call of Duty not being what it was. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft is due for a major shakeup because it's just not been hitting the mark. I used to really enjoy Ubisoft games like Splinter Cell back in the day, and obviously like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Assassin's
for
Creed
sure.
2.
They have great games.
Yeah, but now it's like, I guess the Assassin's Creed franchise still sells for them. Watch Dogs is one game that I was so burnt on the first game due to the false advertising that they did with the graphics and the city and everything that I played like, I don't know, I want to say like 2 hours. Then I returned it. And Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs, yeah. I remember it. Oh,
and
the driving was the most janky in that game. That was the worst driving in any game I've ever played.
And after that, like Watch Dogs 2 is supposedly decent. I wouldn't touch Watch Dogs 2 with like a 10-foot pole because I was just so burned out on that first experience with that first game. I don't want anything to do with it. And I think a lot of people are in the same bag where like Ubisoft products just don't interest me anymore. They haven't done anything that's like their games all feel the same. They have the same mechanics. They share the same mechanics as a positive point. The tower climbing meme, basically like Far Cry, here's the tower you have to climb, and Watch Dogs, here's the building that you have to climb. Assassin's Creed, everything like using the exact same pattern, the exact same design features and decisions. And it's just boring, man. Like, I played Far Cry 3. Then I played Far Cry 4, which was basically 3 plus. And even though I really enjoyed both of those games, I am not interested at all in a new Far Cry because I know it's going to be the exact same thing as the last one. And the same goes for Assassin's Creed and pretty much everything else they do.
Damn. Yeah. There's some good questions, by the way, in the chat. We're running out of time here. But yeah, we'll definitely take note. If you guys have any other questions too, or any topics you want us to cover, we're happy to go ahead and include it in the future episodes. But I think we've had some pretty good discussion today already.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I will mention is to all of you guys watching or listening to this, there is now a YouTube channel called Mono's Game Club where these podcast episodes will go up. If you want to watch that on YouTube, see our faces as we talk. We are filming ourselves. And so definitely go follow that channel, subscribe to it if you want the podcast updates. If not, you can find the podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts. And I believe Apple Podcasts will be coming soon, but it's not here yet. But we will be working on trying to get the podcast onto more platforms. There's something with the alerts on Twitch that is just like exploding my brain each time they go off. Yeah,
we're gonna have crazy thumbnails for each video that are just absurd. Ready? We got to make a thumbnail.
And also, nobody has voted on.
What happens next?
Nobody has voted on music. Every podcast episode, we will use intro music from a video game. So definitely, just send your recommendations for intro music, because so far I've been using whatever I want. For this one, it's probably going to be the Rally X theme. Guile's theme, it goes with everything. Definitely, man. We could use
Guile's theme.
Street Fighter 2.
Dude.
Oh. I never
I used it in a recent video, actually.
Wait.
Dude, did you?
Me and Terry are
video,
millennials.
actually, right at the end.
Raz, are you technically a millennial, or are you like the next the step after? Okay.
Can't you tell by the RGB? Come on, man.
Oh, and the Naruto poster in the background.
Yeah. Snake says WAP. Yes. That's Terry's favorite song, actually. Oh, that's for another video.
All right, finish the podcast with the Halo Warthog run theme. It's amazing. I want to make sure I use like 15 seconds, because that's like DRM it's DMCA free, should be. So I'm gonna try and keep it under 15 seconds.
That's
all right, guys. I had no idea you guys went into tech stuff. We talk about everything. Metal Gear soundtrack, definitely. We talk about anything in this podcast. So, just shoot your questions either in the YouTube comment section or hit an email to monosgameclub@gmail.com. That is MONOS gameclub@gmail. Yeah. All right, dudes, that's going to be it. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next week. Music.
Awesome.
Nice one.
There you go.